Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we are going to explore why Redis is extremely fast and as compared to traditional databases and other in-memory systems. And Redis is widely known for handling around 1 lakh queries per second with minimal latency. And there are three key reasons behind this which makes Redis so fast. So the first reason is Redis is entirely RAM based. Second reason is it uses IO multiplexing along with a single threaded event loop. The third reason is it relies on highly efficient data structure. So in this video, we are going to explore each of these points, these 3 points that I discussed in detail with the help of detailed diagram and explanations. Okay. So let's begin with the memory architecture first. Redis keeps all its data in RAM. So instead of traditional storage like SSD or HDDs, Redis stores data in RAM. So here's the breakdown of the latency. If you can see here, RAM access takes around 120 nanoseconds. In comparison, SSD takes around 50 to 150 microseconds, and HDD takes around 1 to 10 milliseconds to access data from it. So this means that RAM is roughly 1000x faster than SSDs and up to 1 lakh time faster than HDD. If I am doing the calculation correctly, I think this is the number. So Redis leverages this by keeping all read and write operation within RAM only. No other memory, nothing. No disk write, no disk read. Okay. So this eliminates the overhead of disk I/O because it doesn't do any disk I/O only. So which is typically the main bottleneck of a database systems, right? In a database is always there about disk-based storage, right? So because RAM is volatile, so Redis optionally supports persistent because once you restart your container, restart your machine, the RAM is refreshed, right? So the data is gone. So in order to handle these cases, Redis optionally supports persistence, but that's the optional thing. Offers persistence techniques like RDB snapshots or AOF append only file persistence techniques, but those are optimized to run asynchronously and do not block in real time. So the persistence technique that is there, they work in a asynchronous manner. In the background, they persist the data. So that was a simple explanation about the RAM-based architecture in the reason number 1. So the next reason we have is the reason number 2, that is IO multiplexing with single thread. So this is a very interesting thing. The diagram looks complex, but the explanation is pretty simple. I am going to explain it. Okay. So the second reason Redis fast is due to its IO handling capability, right? So Redis uses a single-threaded event loop combined with IO multiplexing. So which is based on system calls like epoll, select, or KQ, which depends on the OS obviously. What is IO multiplexing first? So IO multiplexing is a technique that allows program to monitor multiple IO streams. Like one of the IO streams will be sockets, right? When you want to connect to a server, you acquire a socket. You acquire a TCP connection and you get a socket. So IO multiplexing basically monitors multiple IO streams, for example the sockets, simultaneously without blocking on any single one. It will monitor all of the sockets at once in parallel. Alright. So instead of creating a thread per connection like the traditional database servers or traditional multi-threaded servers, any server that you see, HTTP server, the traditional servers, they work on a one thread per request basis. For each thread, for each request, a new thread will be created with a socket assigned to it, right? But in Redis, that is not the case. Redis uses one thread and relies on OS system calls like select, poll, epoll, which is there in Linux, right? And KQ. All those system calls it uses. KQ is a system call for macOS to see the IO requests that are present, right? So this system calls allow Redis to ask the kernel. So the system calls, by using the system calls, the Redis basically asks the kernel, like, hey kernel, tell me which of the sockets are ready for read or write. I mean, which of the sockets are ready for data IO basically, right? So that's the first thing. I'm going to explain with a scenario, but right now I'm just covering the theoretical part of IO multiplexing. And the next question is why a single thread event loop is there. So Redis uses single threaded event loop for processing all IO events that comes. That is incoming client request and responses. Because using a single threaded, it avoids context switching, which is expensive. Context switching between threads involves latency. So using this, it avoids locks or rest conditions that are common in multi-threaded environment, right? Using this single-threaded event loop, it keeps the execution predictable and easy to debug also. So the majority of Redis operations are pretty fast. Usually they are non-blocking, and so concurrency is not a bottleneck there. That's the reason why it uses a single thread loop. Now let's just discuss with a scenario how the entire IO multiplexing works. Let's say client connections are opened with the Redis server via sockets. you have multiple clients, maybe a Java client, Node, Redis client, Node client, which are connected to the Redis server. So each Redis client connects to the Redis server using a TCP socket. All right. So these are stored in the list. Let's say socket 1, socket 2, socket 3, etc. Now all the sockets that are opened, or all the client connections that are opened, they are watched or monitored by the multiplexer. Now what does the multiplexer do? So using this multiplexer, what does Redis do? Redis uses epoll, right? You see a epoll system call here. So using this epoll system call, which is a Linux system call, or a similar system call in any other OS, it uses this system call to watch all the 3 sockets together. This is the IO multiplexing step. It monitors the sockets first. Now, what does it monitor in there? So it tells the kernel key, let me know when any of these sockets, right, these 3 sockets have data to read or ready to be written. For example, you have a Node client, Node.js client, Redis client, which is connected to the Redis server. Let's say you are doing a set operation or get operation using that client. That marks as a, that your connection is ready to do a set read operation or write operation. Get a key from Redis, set a key into the Redis. So that marks that, yeah, this socket is now ready to do any kind of read or write operation. So it polls for that, right? It checks for which socket is ready, prepared to do that. Once it finds some of the sockets which are available for doing the data IO, Redis enters an event loop. Now using this event loop, which looks like this this is the code I have given. So if you can see there is a while loop here, we are opening the sockets, basically waiting or polling the socket which is available to take the connections or do the data IO. Then for each socket, we basically read command from the client, execute command, write reply to the client. And this is just vague example I've given how event loop works, single threaded event loop works. So if I just explain in detail again, epoll wait blocks until at least one socket is ready. The Redis then reads command from all the ready sockets. Let's say here the ready sockets are socket 1 and socket 3. It then executes the command received from these sockets one by one. Let's say this is your Java client, this is your Node.js client. So Java client send set ABCD is equal to 1 to 3. Then Node.js client sends get the value of ABCD, right? So these are individual commands. So each command is run one at a time. Finally, the Redis writes the response back, the required response back to the client. Right? The main thing is everything is done sequentially but fast. Like how? The commands are executed in sequential manner using the event loop, but still it is fast. How? Because Redis operations are typically O(1) or O(log(n). How, that also I am going to explain in the third point. How the Redis operations are usually O(1) or O(log(n), I am going to explain. Next point for Redis fastness is, each command execution typically takes microseconds or less. The main reason is, as it is a single threaded loop, the OS does not switch threads, right? So Redis avoids overhead there. So this approach allows Redis to handle thousands of concurrent clients on a single thread because it never blocks waiting on the IO. Okay, it works in a non-blocking manner. So this brings us to the next query. What if one command takes too long? So Redis operations are designed to be fast and non-blocking, as I said. So, but if you write a custom command or Lua script, Lua scripting is basically atomic script that you want to run at once. So if you have a Lua script that blocks the thread, it blocks all the clients, right? So when it is about Lua scripting, it has to run all the commands at once. Without that, it cannot just wait for the other transaction. So there is a concept. So this is a known trade-off when we are using Lua scripting or blocking commands. Redis works in a blocking manner. So in one of my videos where I have discussed about distributed locking and how to prevent double payments using Lua scripting, there will be able to understand why the Lua scripting has to be a blocking in nature. It cannot be non-blocking. So this is a non trade-off. Okay. So some set of scripting are there which works in a blocking manner in Redis. So that's why typically Redis recommends keeping Lua script short, using an unblock operation for blocking APIs, and offloading long-running tasks to Redis modules or side workers. All right. So I'll recommend you strongly to watch that distributed locking video. I'll put that in the description box. There I've mentioned a use case how to prevent double payment if you are working on a payment gateway platform, right? Payment gateway system. So using distributed locking and Lua scripting, you'll be able to understand the details of the and nitty-gritties of that Lua scripting there. Okay, so please watch that out. So that was about the IO multiplexing step, how different kind of multiplexer works and how the single threaded event loop processes the incoming request efficiently. Now the third important point is efficient in-memory data structure. So this is the most underrated reason Redis is so extremely fast. The reason is its efficient data structure design. For example, Redis supports multiple core data structure like strings, list, hashes, sets, sorted sets, etc. So let's go through the internal of strings first. So Redis does not store, strings in a C style manner like a null terminated string. It does not store like that way. So instead it uses SDS. SDS means simple dynamic strings. Now what is SDS? So SDS is an object, right, which stores different parameters. Like that is the length of the string. All right. Let's say the string is apple. The length is 5. Free. That means let's say free space, some extra buffer space. So the free space is given so that the string can grow without doing a realloc. Realloc for malloc, realloc we know, right? For allocating memory space, right? So it already comes with some predefined buffer for each string, so that I can append 4 more new characters to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, the length will be 9 here and free space will be 0 here. So that's the reason of having a free space here. So the buffer is there. So buffer is the place which contains the actual string. Now using this SDS, what are the benefits? Using this SDS, only O of 1 is required to access the string length, right? No need to scan the entire string or iterate through the entire string. And using this free space, the O of 1 appends work. No need to wait for memory allocation using realloc or malloc. So using this structure, it avoids frequent memory allocations also, right, or reallocations. So this is one of the way how Redis stores strings to do most of the common operation in of one time, which usually takes O of n to find. For example, finding the length of the string in traditional programming language, it takes O of n, right? Then we have other data structure like list. Examples of list are linked list or zip list. So small lists are stored in zip list, a compact continuous memory block in the memory. Large or frequently modified lists are stored in linked list. So this hybrid model ensures that the space and performance is efficiently used based on the use cases. The next data type is the hash table. So small hashes are stored in zip list and larger hashes uses a hash table. Similarly, we have set. For set also it uses larger non-integer sets, it uses hash table. Then we have sorted list. For sorted list we have skip list and hash maps. Skip list is used to maintain order and support range queries. All right. And hash map supports O of 1 lookups, right? Hash maps we know. So these are some of the data sets, data structures, which helps Redis to work in O of 1 or O of log n time. O of log n time what? The skip list. If you go to the skip list once, the skip list provide O of log n performance for insertion and as well as for the range queries. So that's a task for you to understand the skip list data structure in Redis and how it is able to perform the insertion as well as the range queries in O of log n time. So I've discussed about strings. So understanding about skip list is a task for you. Okay. So like this, Redis maintains multiple layers of indices also to reduce lookup steps. All right. Apart from these 3 core regions, there are some additional steps like command pipelining. So clients can send multiple commands without waiting for replies. So this reduces network round trip significantly. So that is one reason. Next reason is the persistent is asynchronous. As I told already, we have persistence techniques at append only file or RDB. So this persists the data to disk, but the writes or the persisting the data to the disk happen in the background. Okay, this means that normal reads and writes will remain. Then the optimized memory uses Redis internally reuses objects and memory allocations to avoid fragmentation and excessive malloc calls. One example was the string or SDS, right? Simple dynamic strings, right? So to summarize, Redis is fast because it uses RAM first. Second is it runs on a single-threaded non-blocking event loop using IO multiplexing. That's the second reason. Third reason is it uses high-performance internal data structures like SDS, zip list, skip list, int set, hash table. So these are some of the reasons. Together with all these reasons, it allows Redis to deliver sub millisecond, sub nanosecond latency and handle hundreds and thousands of requests per second, which makes it ideal for caching and real-time analytics, leaderboards, etc. Right? So that's a wrap about the detailed breakdown of why Redis is so fast, right? So if you found this video helpful, give a like. Let's target for 50 likes to this video, and consider subscribing for more deep dives into system design and distributed system and high performance backend tech. Okay, and deep tech videos like this. So I'll also recommend you to check my RGB system design playlist where I'm covering all the system design concepts in the structured way possible with the best example possible that I can give. We are right now covering the third section. So everything is well structured. Just search for RGB system design playlist and you will land on this playlist. And as I'm going to drop the link in the description. Okay. So I've also created a crash course video on Redis. You can check that out also. You'll understand all the data structure and its practical use cases in detail and when to use which type of data structure. So all those links you'll find in the description. Okay. So drop a comment below if you want a follow-up video on Redis persistent clustering or PubSub mechanics. It supports PubSub also. So if you have any questions, drop in the comment section. I'm targeting to reach 3,600 subscribers by the end of this month. So keep supporting. So thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.